Hi there, it is Diabetes Awareness Month, and so I wanted to share with you some information about diabetes and prediabetes. Chances are you're here because you are interested in working with people with diabetes, or you have diabetes yourself, or you're pre-diabetic yourself, and you're looking for some answers or guidance on what you can do to help improve your body or lifestyle so you don't have to worry about diabetes or any of the complications that come along with it. So in the year 2013, just a couple years ago, 1 in 9 or 11% of the people in the United States had diabetes. That's 26 million people. Take a moment to think about the last time you were in a room with 10 people or 100 people. It's really a whole lot to be sitting near that many people who have diabetes. And that's just people who have diabetes. It's estimated another 3 times that many are pre-diabetic, or they're having blood sugar issues that are high but not quite high enough to be diabetic. So it's estimated in the year 2025 that 1 in 5 adults, that's 1 in 5, that's almost twice as many as there are now, are going to have diabetes. It's absolutely ridiculous if you ask me. Having 20% of the population with a blood sugar issue seems like there should be some sort of national protocol to help to prevent it, which is what this diabetes prevention program is all about. Beyond that, it's cost $116 billion in medical costs, plus another large sum of money in productivity loss. And the biggest thing is that for 9 out of 10 people who get type 2 diabetes, it's preventable. So 90% of the people who potentially could get diabetes potentially could have avoided it if they had made proper lifestyle and diet changes. So what are some of the consequences of diabetes? Why would you not want to get it? It has a comorbidity factor with cardiovascular disease, a vision loss, of being amputated, of having end-stage renal disease, having disabilities, or having a high mortality rate. And this is just a few things. I know people who are tired, sluggish, not able to really function or get excited about life. They're hungry all the time. They have to go to the bathroom all the time. They're not able to take care of their friends or families or really be what it is that they need to be in their everyday life. Diabetes also influences the ability of the body to heal because vitamin C and insulin or glucose both use the same passageways in order to uptake sugar into the body. So the body takes longer in order to heal itself or to come into recovery, which means that you're just going always in a perpetual state of stress and disrepair. And the really good news is that diabetes can be prevented. So I mentioned prediabetes. You might not know what that is. Prediabetes is defined as having an elevated blood glucose level. It's 4 to 12 times higher than the average person would have. And the people who have the high glucose levels are 4 to 12 times at higher risk for developing type 2 diabetes. 10% of the people who are pre-diabetic are at risk for converting to diabetes, and even people who don't have these risk factors are still capable of getting diabetes. So there's no telling, there's no exact amount of time, how long your blood glucose levels need to be elevated, or what sort of risk factors really are 100% indicators, but it's really based on the person, your genetics, and the lifestyle that you have. So some of the increased risk factors for diabetes are being over 45 years of age, being overweight, having a parent with diabetes, having a sister or brother or other close family member with diabetes. There are very many people of different ethnicities that also have diabetes, whether they're African American, Hispanic, Latino, American Indian, Asian American, Pacific Islander, etc. Women who have had large babies when they're pregnant are also at risk. People who smoke, people who watch TV a lot, people who have elevated triglycerides and elevated cholesterol levels, and also being physically active less than 3 times a week also makes people more susceptible to getting and having diabetes. So being pre-diabetic is diagnosed by having a fasting glucose level between 100 and 125 milligrams per deciliter, and means you're most likely insulin resistant. You can also take a glucose tolerance test, and it would read between 140 and 199 milligrams per deciliter. And if you take an A1C test, your glucose levels are going to be about between 5 and 6.4. And if any of your levels are close to there, I would still recommend taking some steps or precautions to preventing diabetes or getting your body back to a healthier state. These are levels that you definitely don't want to be in. When your A1C levels get to 12%, for instance, a lot of people have to go to the emergency room. That level is lethal, and it's definitely possible in people who are overweight, not really exercising that well, and who need to just take better care of their body. So going to the doctor regularly is really important part of preventing diabetes, making sure that you get your blood sugar levels checked and that you're also checking in with yourself. If you notice yourself starting to have any sort of symptoms of having diabetes, whether or not it's frequent urination, being thirsty all the time, having trouble controlling your weight, those sorts of things, or being really tired, sluggish, getting the spins when you stand up, those sorts of things. They're all indicators that something's going on with your blood sugar. Abrupt mood changes, really hard blood sugar crashes, etc. So we created a diabetes prevention education program, and in that program, we pay attention to things like how your body's feeling, how often you are feeling moody, cranky, hungry, etc., and also how your body is responding to the foods you eat. So whether or not your body is doing better with oatmeal versus kasha versus Kellogg's cornflakes, and how you're feeling and how much your weight is changing overall. So it's really important to pay attention to the things that kind of go along with diabetes, being overweight, etc. And when you pay attention to those things and help to mitigate or reduce them, a lot of times you get back into that safe zone. So I just mentioned the Diabetes Prevention Education Program, and what this program is, it's an evidence-based program for people with prediabetes. And in this program, we go through a variety of nutrition lectures, and you learn all about what's happening in your body if you're pre-diabetic and how you need to eat in order to help the body reduce stress and get back to a healthy state. So in this program, we aim for getting 150 minutes of physical activity every week, and we aim for a weight loss of 5 to 7 pounds for people who are 200 pounds or more. So this 5 to 7% has proven to reduce people's chances of diabetes by 58% to about 71%, depending on the age bracket people are in. So reducing the weight to a lower weight is great, and I've combined not only this evidence-based study, but techniques from some of the best weight loss coaches out there. So you'll learn how to really eat to protect and keep your body safe, and what are some of the most effective methods for protecting the body from all the damage that happens. Each of these programs are evidence-based again. So the learning objectives in the program is to be able to explain the purpose and benefits of diabetes prevention program, and to be able to talk about what individual goals are and what the importance of paying attention to yourself and really being loving to yourself is throughout all parts of your life. So every week we go over the new and good things that are happening, what the current weight is, what challenges you're facing, how we can overcome them, and how we can adjust and do better in the future. So it's not the philosophy of the DPE that you will do wrong. It's just a matter of how much you are really loving your body and paying attention to what it is that you need. I know it's hard to not eat those cookies or croissants, and so learning how to balance the things that like you do want and not stressing about whether or not you can have them or, oh my goodness, I ate some, and what that really will do for your body, your life, and your lifestyle. So the program comes with a whole bunch of useful tools. We have calendars, rewards, and everyone gets a level of accountability. And so whether or not you're signing up through your work or whether or not you get some sort of support system, then this is what you need. And a proven and effective methods for helping people to make the lifestyle changes they need in order to prevent diabetes. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. My name is Rose. I have a bachelor's in physics. I have worked in the tech industry in Silicon Valley, helped to develop a bunch of new technology that's coming out, but I have found that I really love working with people and talking to people. So my hope with the Diabetes Prevention Education Program is that I'd be able to connect people to health and wellness. And I know it seems like a big leap from physics to diabetes prevention, but I fell in love with diabetes prevention when I started taking a class at University of Maryland on cellular biophysics. And so in this class, I learned the basics of how a cell works and the voltage potential and how different things transfer in and out, and I was absolutely hooked. I felt like I had just a great understanding of what was happening in the body, and so I started taking some other nutrition classes and learning more about how the body works from there. I got the opportunity to become a certified instructor for the National Diabetes Prevention Program, and so I took that chance and that offer in order to be able to really serve a population that I felt like really needed to be served. There are over 70 million people in the United States who are pre-diabetic and people who need this program and need this help and understanding how to prevent diabetes themselves. So a little bit about me. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can find me on Twitter at rosehaft.com or rosehaft, and you can find me at rosehaft.com. I created the Diabetes Prevention Education Program, and I'm really excited to bring it to people. So a little bit more about the National Diabetes Prevention Program. So Diabetes Prevention Education Program is based on the Diabetes Prevention Program, which was a research study funded by the National Institute of Health. It was supported by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and there were over 3,000 adults who participated from 27 different locations in the United States. Everyone in the study had prediabetes, meaning that their blood glucose levels were in the range that I mentioned previously. Their A1C levels were also in that range. So none of them had diabetes and none of them were completely in good health. Half the people in the study were African American, Hispanic, American Indians, Asians, or Pacific Islanders that were also at high risk for type 2 diabetes. And 20% of those people were 60 years of age or older. People over 60 are at higher risk for type 2 diabetes, and we definitely want to prevent that so they can have ripe old age and a lot of fun out in the world when they're doing it, or out in the world while they're in retirement and getting to spend time with grandbabies or doing all the other things that they've dreamed up. The average starting weight was 207 pounds for all the people in the study as well. So again, we talked a little bit about prediabetes and what some of the risks are. The study was a randomized study, and each person was assigned to one of three groups. The three groups were a lifestyle change group where 1,000 people focused on losing weight and being more active. They did not receive any medication. People who were receiving medication, there were 1,000 of them in that group, and the medication was metformin. Metformin is typically used to treat diabetes and blood sugar imbalances, and the group did not focus on losing weight or being more active. There was a third group that received absolutely no treatment, and 1,000 people were in that group, and they received placebos and got absolutely no medication and were not asked to change their lifestyle whatsoever. So the results of the study showed that after a year of this program, participants cut their risk for type 2 diabetes by 58%. People older than 60 cut their risk by 71%. People who took medication reduced their risk by 31%, and people who got no treatment saw no change in their risk for type 2 diabetes. So not only did people find that exercising more and eating healthier and reducing stress in life helped to reduce the incidences of diabetes, but all of those people got a great increase in their health, wellness, and vitality in life. So we talked a little bit about the prediabetes screening, and everyone that was participating in the program needed to fit these criteria. And the program goals were to help people in the lifestyle group to learn about healthy eating and being active, what makes it hard to eat and be active, learn how to change habits and create healthier habits, how to maintain long-term support and stick with the changes, and how to obtain a lifestyle balance between how much was eaten and how active people were. Other studies showed that 30 to 60% reduction in type 2 diabetes going through a similar program. A Finnish study found that 43% of people reduced their incidences of diabetes 3 years after the completion of the trial. And in other parts of the world, they've also seen similar results. So the difference between the program that I've created and the program that these people went through is that we have different metrics to go over. I recommend that people look at visceral fat levels, which is the fat around in the abdomen around some of the vital organs, which is a risk factor. We look at the ratio of hip to waist size, and we look at inch reduction as well as actual weight reduction. Because as you probably know, when you gain more muscle, then that weighs more than the fat. So this is also a really important process, because what typically happens is that people need to go to the doctor, receive a diagnosis, and then they receive some sort of treatment plan, whether or not it's metformin or some other medication. And after they receive this, then they can either take the medication, not take the medication, or take insulin, not take the insulin, and they can either they can either prevent further complications with that, or like I said before, only 30% of the people actually seem to get any better with the metformin results. So I've added a bunch of extra information in order to help people who are at risk for diabetes to completely lose weight. So that way they're not at risk at all. So what you can expect is a bunch of material, and you'll also learn how to be active, how to ask for what you want, how to create an environment that encourages active lifestyles and healthy eating, how to get rid of things that get in your way or cause you to lose a healthy balance, how to replace negative thoughts with positive ones, how to get back on your feet if you slip, how to handle stress, social events, etc. The modules include monitoring what you eat, problem solving, eating less fat and fewer calories, how to avoid temptations, paying attention to food culture and what food represents in the world, being physically active, how to overcome challenges, manage stress, stay motivated, eat healthy, and how to really be in charge of your life and do things that are good for you and that are just absolutely great for your body. So it's my job to provide the information that you need to make changes, to notice what you're doing and what can be improved, to answer questions, share solutions, and to be honest, to stand by people in hard times, to believe in you, and to support and help you always. Anyone who knows me knows that I really spent a ton of time helping to make sure people are okay, and it's really what I absolutely love to do. I'd love to help you through the program that I've developed. What's required of participants is presence, honesty, keeping track of foods, and keeping track of weight, communicating what sort of difficulties people are having, and really being in touch about what it is that you need. We've had some beta testers, and so I know that there are certain things that people need and want to have throughout the program and need it presented in certain ways in order to really get the most out of it. And so I have done a large amount of research to make sure that people have absolutely anything they need to prevent diabetes. So if there's anything else I can do to help you, please send me a message, rose@diabetespreventioneducation.com, and I'd be really happy and excited to answer your questions and to help you get great results.